I love this, man. She goes to recorders. She wants to contact her mother and father.
Robert Picardo!
Robert Picardo!
Yeah!
Mixties presents the Popcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast. And right now we're talking about the Orville, Season 1, Episode 10, I believe, right Shane? Yes?
Who knows?
And we're not only doing a recap and a review of this episode, but we're going to give you some insight into what's going on with Season 2 and what it means to shave an episode off a season and give it to another season, and why that's a good thing. So, let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's do this thing.
1600 sub challenge. We are getting close. Only a couple hundred more subs to go. Get in there, mash that button, comment on videos, and be a part of that video beatdown where we give away a massive prize at that point to some random lucky guy or girl. We just gave away 3 tickets to Star Wars premiere in December, plus dinner and popcorn and candy and drinks. So it's a night on the town on us, centered around Star Wars. So 1600 subs is gonna be great, and that's about it. Shane?
No, you're 100% right. I really enjoyed the episode last night. It had a nice little twist to it. I was actually running through the episode thinking, all right, they're going to come back and she's standing in front of the fire still. That's what I kept coming back to that point. I think they're going to do this reflection episode where she's internalized all this, and now we're going to come back. And now I know critics don't like those types of episodes, but I thought that's might be where we're coming back. And then they had pretty interesting twist to why it was all occurring.
Yeah, when the doctor killed Nurse Park, who they just introduced to us last episode, so there was some weight there too. Like, it wasn't like a random person at this point. Like, it was someone that we had just been introduced to, and we sort of liked him, and we were just sort of getting to know him. And then she like kills him real quick, you know. And I'm like, uh-oh. At that moment, I realized something's afoot here. This is not normal. This is not like a challenge that they're facing. This is something else going on.
Soon as they ate, as soon as the spider ate Scott Grimes, I'm like, all right, hit the reset button. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to kill off Scott Grimes.
Exactly.
All right, well, we open up with an amazing shot of the Orville in the nebula, and they're going through some stuff. The ship's being tossed around by this nebula cloud. There's explosions going on. They're calling down to engineer. I love this guy so much. He's like, the containment regulators ain't gonna hold, Captain. We need more power.
Yeah, it was a serious moment, so he didn't do that voice, but I could see that happening.
No, I'm using Scotty's voice, but this guy reminds me so much of Scott without using the old Scottish voice. And he's like, we're gonna have to do this, there, blah, blah, blah. And this poor bastard that we've never met before, but apparently has known the chief engineer for his entire life.
Yeah,
Harrison
buddies.
Gets trapped under falling debris in engineering. And the chief engineer calls up and says, we can't move it. We need Lieutenant Catan down here now. Alara, because she's super strong. They call Alara down, and right before she can save him, there's a plume of fire that's put in front of her. She's clearly has some issues with fire. It stalls her in her tracks. And that delay caused her to not be able to save Harrison in time. And
in all fairness, she may never have been able to save him, but she hasn't been able to, put her mind to rest.
Right. Now, he died, but it doesn't mean he was going to die if she saved him or not. I mean, he had internal injuries, but she thinks is she wasn't fast enough.
Right.
Here's the deal. This is yet another death on the Orville. I'm pretty sure that this comedy, drama, sci-fi show, I think we've seen more deaths in its first season than we've seen in the entire first season of its counterpart, STD. Interesting.
Yeah, you may be right. Actual characters that you've seen and know.
Yeah, not like, I mean, overall, STD is, they talk about like 8 million people dying or whatever, but the ones we see, right? So this is a moment, and she's stressed out, and they're having a eulogy, and I always like when they show the eulogies on sci-fi shows like this. The chief engineer says something funny. His last name was Payne, which is what he was in a lot of, I'm sure, when he died.
Right. And then he's like, yeah, just in case you guys didn't know, he would have thought that was funny.
Yeah, if you knew him, before you're offended, if you knew him, he would have. Yeah, I thought that was great. Like, relax.
It was great. Yeah, I liked it.
And yeah, we got this shot of Laura. Rest in peace, Harrison. She's obviously pretty torn up about the fact that she could not save this person.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in this simulator. She's boxing, trying to punch off the pain. Deal with her trauma. In come the doc. By the way, the doc did great this episode.
Yeah, she was on point. I do want to say though, if you've ever hit a heavy bag like that, you would know that what Lieutenant Alara did right there when she basically punched a hole through it. It would be superhuman strength to do that.
Yeah, that's very difficult. It's not a pillow.
It hurts actually to hit it. You got to have gloves.
Right. And they're like, listen, end simulation. You got to deal with your pain, your stress, whatever. And as they're talking, I love that Malloy and Lamar come in. Yeah, we have the simulator at 3:30. No, it's funny.
That's so funny.
I found this joke alone by itself was sort of comical. And I was like, I chuckled. And I was like, that would be totally like they're gonna duel. That's hilarious. But then when Bortus came in with the same stuff, that's when I went from like a chuckle to an outright belly laugh. I was like, ha ha ha.
Right. Didn't see that coming.
No, I love Bortus, man. What a great. So
character.
I just kept on laughing every time Bortus came on screen, basically, because this character to me is his interaction with the human crew and how he plays like the straight man is just fascinating to me.
Yeah, Bortus Washington, love it.
Yep, and then we move on, and we're Captain Ed's. He's getting some help from Malloy. He's got to write the eulogy. He says he sucks at these things, and I love this little meta joke. I'm not a writer, okay?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Because he's clearly a writer. He writes the episode.
He writes everything.
Right,
Seth MacFarlane's
everything.
a writer. That's what he is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And if you didn't know that, it's okay, but it's a fun joke to get if you know it.
Yeah, it's a nice little meta joke. And Alora comes in and says she wants her official resignation. She's not fit to serve on this ship or any ship. And Captain Ed was like, yeah, absolutely not. Like, not going to happen. Here's a nice little moment between them later on where he's like, listen, if I had to fight up against me and raging big monster, whatever it was, I want you between me and him every single time.
That's right.
I would too. Not saying that right.
As many people as possible between me and that thing.
Right,
actually.
right, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. And then she goes, I love this, man. She goes to her quarters. She wants to contact her mother and father.
Robert Picardo!
Yeah!
Sci-fi fans know him as the Doctor.
The emergency medical hologram from Voyager.
Right.
Commander Woosley from Stargate Atlantis. Woosley of the Internal Affairs on SG-1. This guy is a sci-fi legend.
Legend. I like that.
He's one of he's definitely on my top 10 list of people I want to meet before I die. Him and Richard D. Anderson. I love that man, Richard D. Anderson.
Yeah, what we got to do, bro? We need to do a show where we talk about our top 5 sci-fi series of all time. What our favorites are.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
We should pick them. Yeah, we should do that, and then we can share what they are and why we like them and stuff like that.
We should do that on Monday.
Okay.
We're not doing Star Trek Discovery.
You're right.
Hey, if you guys want to see that on Monday, let us know. We were gonna do something else, but that's something else. I was like, this is a better idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right,
top five sci-fi series of all time.
And it can't be like Star Trek encompassing. It has to be like Star Trek TOS, TNG, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Discovery.
No, we'll break them down. Yes, we'll break them down. It could be Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah, even
Babylon
Stargate
5,
Universe, Babylon 5,
Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, the Orville.
MacGyver.
wasn't a sci-fi show.
I'm just kidding. It's Richard Dean Anderson. I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, I mean, I do love me some Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea. And like I said, Picardo is on my list of people I want to meet. I hope it's not as bad as when I met Misha Collins from Supernatural. He plays Castiel. Shane and I have a friend, Orlando Jones. He's a famous actor, and we went to Comic-Con with him one year, and I got to meet Misha Collins, and meh. Not a bad guy, but
he might have been having a bad day,
Yeah, meh. Hey, so moving on. I love seeing Robert Ricardo here. I love how he called the humans the hillbillies of the galaxy. Clearly, we're on a lower totem, lower place than just about everybody else in this galaxy, apparently.
We seem to definitely be. What's the deal with? I mean, to our the people that we're fighting this war with, that we find ourselves in a war with, we're animals.
We're cattle, right?
Cattle. Isaac's people are basically racist against anything that's not a robot, right? You've got Bortus's people who think they're superior to everybody, and now you're looking at these guys who, call us the hillbillies of the galaxy or whatever. So.
Yeah, Alara's people. It looks like they put a lot of importance on academics and not on military. So her joining the military was definitely not something that they wanted for her, and they called her like dumb. They're like, there's a place here for people that are academically challenged. Like that's basically.
I know, that was so funny.
Basically, you're dumb.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So I thought that was great. A little insight into their people was great, and I love the makeup on Robert Ricardo. It looks so good, man.
It's such a how a parent would talk to their kid maybe in college who's not making choices that you'd like them to make.
Right. A little like the way that Barry's dad talked to him in last night's Justice League, which we're going to be doing a non-spoiler review about.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice segue.
Yeah, I wish it was at the end of the show.
Gosh.
And then, boom, she goes in the hallway, and there's a clown there, and this clown looks terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It was terrifying, but it was even more terrifying when it started running at Alara full speed. I was
dude, that is so free. I got a clown story for you real quick.
Talk to me.
Okay, I don't like clowns. Like John Lamar, I don't like clowns.
Yeah, dude, guys, Shane hates clowns. He hates clowns.
I do. It's my mom's fault, though. My mother got me terrorized of clowns. Let me tell you why. When I was in high school, she started collecting clown stuff. People started giving it to her for Christmas and birthdays, and she's collecting all these clown figures. So when I moved out of the house, she basically converted my room into the clown room, which was just clown crap everywhere in the whole place.
Clown sanctuary.
So, yeah, just clowns, man. Going in there was just creepy. So when I would come home, I was in the Navy, so when I would come home to visit, I had to sleep in this room. And just over the bed, she had this giant clown head that looks kind of like that thing right there. Right there. And let me tell you, it would just sit over you while you were sleeping, and you're like looking up at it, and I'm like, oh, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, oh, I know something bad's going to happen.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Thanks, Mom. Love you.
You know what that was? That was a deterrent, because she didn't want you masturbating in her house anymore.
Well, I got to tell you, it worked. So good job.
I'm sorry.
That was great. Listen, man,
I just had this like I just had this like visual of like Shane laying down, and he's like, damn it, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Listen, you can't even sleep. You're not doing nothing else in that room. That's for darn sure. That thing's looking at you, and they're all over the place. There's tons of them.
Yeah. All right. And Alara is like, look, I am definitely unfit to serve. I just saw a clown in the hallway. And Captain's like, nah, let's look at the visual logs. And I love how Orville always manages to get everybody into a shot, right?
Yeah, that's something that other sci-fi shows, I don't recall them doing well. Maybe maybe Firefly.
Yeah,
But
Firefly. So I notice it more because I'm taking the screenshots for the show that there's a lot of shots, and I have a few in here. They somehow manage to block in a way that gets a lot of people into each shot. It's a really cool method that makes the show appear bigger than it probably is. It's a really cool. I wish more sci-fi shows did this. Star Trek Discovery is a gigantic show, but a lot of the shots and a lot of what we see is like one or two people having exponential, crises of some sort.
It probably has a lot to do also with, I don't know how well the set decoration is behind them right there, but when you fill in a lot of people, you don't have to worry about, having a bunch of busy craziness going on behind
Yeah, it's true. You don't have to worry about green screens, connecting and whatnot.
Right.
So they discovered that, no, there was a clown in the hallway, and it's a problem, and Lamar's in the back pacing. Oh, man.
Look at the look on his face. He's like, I don't like clowns, man.
I don't like clowns, man. Don't use the C word. So her and Kelly are going back to Kelly's quarters, and Kelly's room is a giant vortex.
Wow.
Also, super terrifying. At this point, I'm like, okay. They can't all be hallucinating at the same time, so there must be an alien on board or something, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't even thinking of like the simulation thing at this point. I was thinking that there was some kind of like weird, like the Star Trek TOS did a couple times, where there was like a terror, on board, like things going on.
I thought they were in like a weird piece of space.
Right. It's in weird.
Like maybe they were in a place where reality doesn't, shifts.
Like they never left the storm. Like they're still in there and they're being like manipulated or something.
But I was definitely getting that. It all seems to be almost childhood fears that kept happening, and I kept saying this has to be tied to Alara's mind somehow. So I never got there, but I was heading that direction.
Yeah, well, I thought at first maybe they're still stuck in that nebula, and there's like a sentient being in there that is like feeding on their mental energy, and that's why he's making them see all this, because he needs their fear or something,
Yeah, I definitely thought we were going to come back to her in front of that fire, and she was going to save that crewman.
Right, and so they're freaking out. I love this shot. They're telling Captain Ed, and Bordas comes in and goes, "There's an alligator in the cargo bay."
I killed it with a chair.
He's like, I crushed it with a chair.
Yeah,
they're like, awesome. Well, where did it come from? He goes, I don't know. Regardless, it has been crushed.
It is crushed. Yes.
I love how like the only person here that's not afraid of any of this stuff is seemingly Bordas. He's just like, I've crushed the alligator.
Nothing bugs him, man.
Yeah.
Except his wife.
Yeah.
Or his husband.
Husband, except for Clyden. Which I still love Clyden. I wish we got more of Clyden, to be honest with you. All right.
Agreed.
Now, this is when the doctor shines. She's going to do a brain scan on Alara, and she starts to get real sinister. This was creepy, bro.
Yeah, this was actually super creepy.
When she goes, hey, who's the doctor here? Like, dude, she acted the crap out of this scene, man.
Yeah, her acting was on point in this episode. I mean, fantastic job.
Look how scary she looks. That's crazy. She normally is so like relaxed. And then this is when I realized, I don't got the shot of it, but when I realized that this is definitely not an alien and that there's something else going on with Alara's head, and I thought maybe it was a fire thing or whatever, was when the doctor killed Nurse Park.
Right.
At that moment, I'm like, look, it's possible they kill Nurse Park off and we're done. But
I don't see that.
I don't see it. They just introduced him last episode as an actual character that we're supposed to care about, and then they would kill him off the next episode. No, they're gonna give some breathing room. They want us to care a little more about him before they use him. I think Nurse Park is definitely gonna die soon. Maybe not this season, but next season Nurse Park will die in some way. It'll be a way for the audience to mourn with the crew. Like when Harrison dies this episode, no one cares because we don't know him.
Yeah, look out, Nurse Park, look out.
But Nurse Park is not a super important character, but they're building him up. Every episode they keep building him up as someone that you should care about, but not essential to the crew, so that when they kill him off, we'll feel it. I understand the writing here. So when they killed him this quick, I was like, nope. Nope.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, there was the jig was up for sure.
Yeah. And you know, she's gonna do surgery. She's gonna like kill her or something. And I love how Laura breaks out of like the triple reinforced whatever and grabs the nurse and he's holding her there.
Yeah.
And this is also good when she's in the brig and Captain N's talking to her and she's just evil, dude. Straight up evil.
Yeah, she played it really well.
Yeah, there are terrors lurking all around us. You have no idea. That was fantastic.
Yeah, you have no idea what's coming, and she did the little boop right in front of Alara.
Yeah, that was great.
It was fantastic. Good job, Claire.
Good job, Claire. All right. I like this. This joke was sort of funny too. It felt natural, and she goes, "This is gonna sound like I'm talking on my ass." And
oh my gosh.
Isaac was like, "Well, then please try to enunciate."
Try to enunciate. That was so great.
It's really funny.
Didn't even feel forced. I mean, it's totally like an airplane joke.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I love about the jokes in this show. It's such a throwback to when, you know, comedy was really coming in its own in the late 70s and early 80s. I love this kind of comedy. Just kind of not it's light comedy. I want to call it. Not light. It's
natural,
not in your face. It's
right.
Subtle.
Yeah, and you know when this show first came out, I thought it's gonna be like slapstick humor in space,
right?
And I remember seeing the trailer, I'm thinking that's not what it's gonna be, and there are gonna be people that are disappointed, but there are gonna be a lot of people that are very happy with this, and that's when I remember Shane. I was like, look, no one's gonna be reviewing the Orville. I think it's gonna be amazing and genius. I think we need to review it, and Shane was like, yeah, me too. Let's do it. And that first episode, I was like, please, not too much slapstick humor. Not too much slapstick humor.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it down a little bit. Come on. And that first episode was a little slapsticky, but then by the second and third episode, it had found its groove, and it has the comedy chops, and it's natural, but it also has all the sci-fi stuff, and it just feels natural, as if, you know, it's really hard to explain. Yeah, I guess sort of like 70s old, you know.
No, it was great. I mean, Airplane used to have this joke. It was actually, I think, Airplane 2 that had the joke, and it was Leslie Nielsen, and it was always, we're flying into the sun, right? And then the next part of the joke would be, what is it? And he'd be like, the sun. It's a glowing ball of fire that's, you know, whatever degrees. And then the joke would continue. No, but there was no reaction to it. So, and they would go right back to the other character. And that's so the joke was for the audience and for the audience only.
It flowed.
And that's exactly what they're doing here.
It felt natural, you know.
Right. It just felt like part of the conversation that we get it, and it's over their heads.
And we get it because it's character-driven comedy. Like,
right.
This is funny because Isaac doesn't understand human references, and he's very wooden. Vortis has a very similar character where it's funny for him because even if he does understand it, he understands something, he doesn't care enough.
He doesn't care
to
right.
respond, right?
Even better sometimes.
Even better sometimes, right? And then the spiders come on, and they're like, "This cannot be real," and it lands on.
I don't like spiders either, man. Really,
I hate spiders. Yeah. I mean, I if it's between, for me, I'd rather deal with a spider than a cockroach. But I hate both, you know. But for me, it was like, okay, a cockroach and a spider are gonna fight out in the death, and you gotta like live with one for the rest of your life. I'm like, the spider needs to win.
Oh no, for me, I'm okay with. I'd rather deal with the cockroaches than deal with the spiders.
I hate cockroaches so much. They like.
Interesting.
It's probably my biggest fear is cockroaches, and then snakes, and after snakes, spiders.
Really? Okay. Okay. For me,
after spiders,
yeah,
fat angry women.
What? I'm going spiders, snakes, and then clowns.
Okay, clowns are like, I'm cool with clowns unless they get like real sinister. Then that's real low on my list. So I would say like it might break the top 10, but I was joking about like heavyset angry women. But I would say for me, my biggest phobias would definitely start with cockroaches, and then snakes, and I'm sorry, spiders, then snakes, and then things are. My fourth and biggest fear after that would be things that are out of my control. Like me not being able, being an audience member to something horrible happening. That's,
okay, I got you. Or like how much money you have in your checking account, things like that.
Oh, that's always a fear.
Right. Wait. How about? Can we just talk about potato bugs for a second? Those things scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, I hate potato bugs.
They look
too.
like people. It's just freaky. I'm sorry. Go on,
dude. You're right about the bank thing. Every time I open up my Wells Fargo, I'm like logging in. I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, okay, that's not that bad. Oh wait, there's things processing. I'm screwed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my rent.
Ah! It has that shot where you throw your head back and you scream to the sky. Okay. The Popcast cost me how much this week?
Oh my gosh, so much.
They go get the gun. Oh, I like how the guns are in the corridor. They keep establishing that the guns or the weapons are in panels in the corridor. They established this twice in this episode and one in the last episode. I thought that was fascinating.
Well, in what way?
Well, because they're establishing for some reason that the panels in the corridors is where all their weapons are located.
Okay.
I thought they went out of their way twice to establish the location of the weapons, and I'm wondering why that's important.
Well, I mean, if you look at other series, if you go back to some of the Star Trek, you're going to a weapons locker to get weapons. They didn't carry their phasers on them all the time. Less security was the only ones who actually carried their phasers.
Yeah, but Alara is security, and she didn't have a phaser on her.
That's interesting. I actually would expect the chief of security to have a phaser on her.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe not aboard ship when you're not expecting any danger, but you're security, so you're always at the ready.
So they go back to the room with the spiders, and they're gone.
Yep.
So they go from this point forward. I want everyone to carry weapons. So again, establish the whole weapons thing.
Gotcha.
And while they're walking away, her and Grimes start getting chased by a giant spider.
This is the scariest thing ever. By far.
This is
by far scariest thing ever.
Yeah. You know what's really bad? I thought at this moment about Man Bear Pig from STD.
Oh, did you?
And I thought, this is scarier than Man Bear Pig.
There's something about the 8 legs. I don't know what to tell you. I guess it's a childhood fear, which is what Alara's going through.
Dude, the way the spider trips Grimes with one of his legs, I was like,
so not.
It's so terrible. So at that moment, I realized, oh, they just killed off Malloy. No, this is either all a hallucination. Thank you.
Got you.
I don't know why I forgot that word.
I'm here with you.
Or a simulation, or it's in someone's head, or something. Because there is no way the studio would ever let the writers kill off Malloy. He's at the end of every YouTube video. He is like their social media presence right now. No way.
Yeah. No way he dies.
No way. But it was great the way he died. I gotta say it.
Gosh, man.
He gets eaten like alive, whole. That's right.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And then she gets to the bridge, and there's no one on board, which is just as terrifying. Like, all of a sudden, you're just straight up alone.
Yeah. Now, when this happened, when I realized she was alone, I'm like, all right, something's up. Something's really up. I mean, I knew something was up, but now I'm starting to think that this is more happening inside of Alara's mind. And I'm definitely going back to she's going to wake up at the fire. That's what was happening for me.
Remember, there was a TNG episode, I believe it was TNG or Voyager, where, maybe it was Stargate. Damn it. There was an episode, I think it was called Ship in a Bottle? I think it was called that.
I'm sure there's some of those, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there's several of those.
There was, the ship was, had encountered, a portion of space, and it was like a mirrored version of that ship. Oh my god, I can't remember. I know there's a few.
There's
of
so
them,
many episodes,
but
there's a lot of them.
When all hell is breaking loose and everyone's disappearing. No, it was TNG for sure because people are disappearing in front of them. No.
No, it was Voyager. You're talking about the one where one person kept disappearing every so often, and then it was stuck at the end with, I think it was 7 of 9 maybe.
And they wouldn't even remember that person when they disappeared. Like they completely forgot about them. Like they're being deleted from
and
the
what
program.
was happening was they were actually getting out of the trap, and in the end it needed, I want to say it was 7 of 9, needed to go into the light to get out.
Guys, comment below. Let us know what Star Trek episode that was.
Pretty sure it was a Voyager episode.
It was amazing. I don't remember what it is because it's been so long. But you're right. People were disappearing around them, and when they would disappear, everybody would forget that person existed. I think it was TNG actually.
You think it was TNG? I'm thinking it was Voyager. Let the fans
let us know below. But it had that same vibe, you know, like it had that same vibe, and I thought it was something like that, and I thought it was great the way they. Let's just move on. We'll get to that. So she finds herself alone, and she goes down to engineering, and who's there? Isaac. Okay. At that moment, I'm like, wait a minute. What if it was like an organic versus synthetic thing, and she's causing it, but maybe he didn't go because he's not organic, you know?
I didn't even go there. I'm like, so they're in her head. At this point, you couldn't get me to think that this was a real scenario.
Okay.
Personally, I didn't feel that way.
I was still unaware of what was happening. I had a lot of theories moving around. You know, when it was Isaac left, I thought, why is it only the machine guy left? And
right. I mean, I didn't think they were on a holodeck or anything like that, but
dude, not a holodeck, bro. Come on. Trademark.
What are we calling it?
There's a trademark. I don't know. A simulation.
I can't even say the word holodeck.
You just got fined.
There's a deck over there.
Yeah. Holla deck. All right.
Got it.
You're hilarious, dude.
That deck is empty. It's hollow.
Oh. All right. So Isaac and her are trying to use their scanners to get power to the console so they can figure out what happened to the crew. She tells him that, you know, Malloy died and she doesn't know why. And he goes, we need to hurry in case the alien creature returns. And that was what took her off. She was like, I only told you he was dead. I didn't tell you how he died, bro.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
And that's when Isaac becomes a god.
Evil Isaac.
Evil Isaac with red eyes. He says, soon the ship will run red with your blood. I'm like, oh my god.
Like, whoa.
All
right.
And that's when we figure out when she's running away that she's in a simulation. And I love the way they shot this, where it shows like the simulation changing around her. It was really great, man.
Yeah, that's cool that they get to see into the not holodeck and what they're doing. I'm glad they can kind of watch what they're going through. I don't know, sorry.
You know, in 30 years of Star Trek holodeck technology, we have never seen how it works.
Well, we know that it's one little room.
We know it's one little room.
And that the floor must move.
Right, so they've explained
and the walls
stuff.
Stay there.
They've explained that when you move, the scenery is changing around you to accommodate you. But they take heavy liberties with how many people can be in a room and interact at the same time. Now,
agreed.
There's a book, okay? There's a book about TNG where the captain and somebody are stuck in a holodeck, and they explain how it works. And so what he does is he throws something against the far against the wall, and because that physical object is not part of the holodeck, this communicator badge I think it was. Mm-hmm. It shows where the holodeck wall is. And I remember that. And he gets somebody to stay in one place, and I'm going to walk away from you until I get to it because the holodeck can't move around both of us, right?
Ooh.
And I remember that real clear, but that was the most we ever got into how it works.
Right.
Because they take heavy liberties. Like, come on. We've had episodes where, the captain is like Robin Hood, and the other people are 2 miles away somewhere. Like, it doesn't add up.
Yeah. There's been a very interesting. Yeah, what's the one that the crew was going down when the doctor was going down and she fell in love with Michael, right, for TNG, and they were like in a town and going to different towns on the holodeck, and the entire crew was on the holodeck, I think. So yeah, there's some. Lucy, you got some splaining to do because we don't know how that works.
At least in Voyager, when they did the holodeck stuff, they talked about limitations and how the Jem'Hadar had to like turn the whole ship. Yeah, they had to install emitters in like the whole ship in order to make space for everybody.
Right.
It felt more realistic. All right, but this was great. It's obviously forming around her, and the doctor's not evil, and she said we gotta shut this down. Her heart rate's insane. And that's when we find out that she exercised Directive 38. So that's a directive in this universe. The security personnel, the head of security, can exercise something called Directive 38. And it's in case the captain ever becomes compromised or drunk. Yeah, that was a joke.
That was funny.
Basically, if the captain's compromised and the security officer's got to take over, she can take over the entire ship. But if she makes a mistake and she was wrong, it ends her career.
Ends the career. Career killer.
Now, she didn't take over the entire ship, but she used that directive to lock the program. We're calling it a program. I'm sorry, simulation. My bad. Sorry, don't sue me, Star Trek.
You can sue me. I got nothing.
Now we know it's in there. I love this shot where the lightning flashed or whatever it is, and you see Isaac behind her. That was great, man. She gets onto the shuttle, and Isaac is like casually pushing the explosives out in front of the ship. That was great.
With the danger, I love that.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah, and then he goes to shoot it, and this was the final test on the program that Isaac made for her was fire. And she had, in order to escape the ship, she had to fly through the fire. And I thought that was super fitting. And she flew through it, and the ship explodes, and the simulation ends.
Boom.
Boom.
And she's like, wait a second, guys. Where the heck am I?
Yeah, what is going on? And that's when Isaac says you've completed the simulation. She goes, why? Why would you do this to me? She felt like upset that they had put her through this.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Well, no, you did it yourself, woman. That's my thumbnail, by the way, I think.
And you broke some rules doing it.
And you broke some rules. Again,
Lied
another
to the
shot.
Doctor.
Yeah, the doctor was like, I should write you up for this. Another shot, you notice how a large amount of the crew is in the shot.
Yeah, everybody but the girls, right?
Yeah, all the guy bridge crews are in this shot. I mean, that's clever, and it's like it's not how they're all just like huddled around, like they're in the shot. I love how Bortus says when they explain his only fear was like being conquered by a superior race. He goes, "I'm feeling very self-conscious. I would like to leave."
I know, that's funny.
That's great. And the captain gives her a pass because she was going through some stuff, and all is well, and she goes to sleep, and that's the end of the show. And honestly, I gotta say, I love this episode. I love the character development of Alara. It made me like her character more. I remember in the first episode saying that she seemed a little young for it, and I could tell she might be good. I wasn't 100% on this character. I didn't want her to become another Tasha Yar. And
yeah.
That's not what she is. Her character has continually been growing this entire time. Now we get a whole episode basically about her, and it made me like the character more. The only character for me that's really lacking right now is Lamar. We got a story about Bortus. Made me like Bortus. We got a pretty good story a couple stories about Kelly. Wasn't just about her, but enough to get me like her. We know about Ed. Everybody else, the whole bridge crew.
Well,
I mean, you tell me what you think.
we still need. By the way, let me apologize to everybody. I am coming off of a 10-day sickness. Been trying to push through all these videos, so if you get some coughing noise, I apologize.
Yeah, don't worry. He's not dying.
Yeah,
I'm not
not
poisoning his coffee or anything with strychnine. We're fine.
What?
Nothing. Continue.
All right. Okay. So thought that smelled funny. Okay, so what I was saying is we got a character that we also haven't gotten much development on, and that's Scott Grimes' character.
Right, you're right. We haven't gotten a lot from Malloy, but
we haven't.
He's so prevalent though that while we haven't gotten a lot from him as far as character development or real backstory, he feels really familiar already because the crew is so familiar with him. I think. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I feel, and we got a pretty thick story on Lamar already when he was, got in trouble for dry humping a statue.
But he didn't grow to me. He didn't.
No, he didn't. Just like Scott Grimes' character, Malloy didn't grow during the episode where him and the captain were on the enemy ship.
You're right. You're right.
So we definitely need
that episode was more about Ed, though. I feel like.
Right. And so, yeah, it's not exactly sure what happened. We definitely need growth from those two characters. I would like growth from those two characters. It's not ruining my feeling about the show, but I would like that.
You know what? I feel like the episode Majority Rule, where Lamar was like the main character, the main focus. I feel like he was so overshadowed by the whole idea of this, of the concept, because that episode was great. It was such a fascinating, amazing idea on how a society would work, and it was sort of a commentary on how online works right now. That it really overshadowed anything Lamar could have done. If anything, Lamar, it would have been better if he actually took it down a notch for that episode and just let it take over the episode, because I felt like that episode he was fighting a little bit with the narrative for screen time.
Right. I mean, so far we've got, with all due respect to Beavis and Butthead, we basically have Beavis and Butthead in these two guys, and we haven't seen another layer to these characters yet. There may not be another layer. Maybe they just are who they are, and they're the comic relief that we need in those moments when we need them.
I'm okay with that.
By the way, I love Beavis and Butthead back in the late 80s.
Well, Malloy is definitely like a sounding board for the captain, too. We've seen that a few episodes now.
Sure, that's true.
I mean, yeah, if they're just the comic relief, why not?
It can be that way. Sure, we don't have to have the depth of every character. But when this series is over, 5 to 10 years from now, it would be nice to really truly care about those characters. I don't really care about them. I like how you said 5 to 10 years from now. You like that?
You mean 5 to 10 years from now, and then a spin-off episode, and then an episode about a ship that gets trapped in Krill space and has to use the holotech for the entire season. And
brilliant.
Yes,
yeah.
I want 50 years of the Orville, please. Just continue to develop this universe.
Never stop.
Finally, a universe that can compete with the greats.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it was good. It was a good cutoff.
All right, man. That's the end of the show. It was a good episode. Go check it out. If you haven't seen it, then I'm not sure why you've gotten this far in this episode, in our episode of the review. But
we broke it down pretty good for you.
You should check it out. If you're just watching this because you don't want to watch the episode and you just want to watch the recap, then honestly, I'm pretty sure the episode's shorter. So you should go watch it. But
unless you're on Hulu and you're paying for the commercials.
Oh God.
Then maybe not.
We'll be back in a couple hours for our non-spoiler review of the Justice League. Here's a little hint. And we'll be back tomorrow for the spoiler review of the Justice League. Here's a little hint.
Here's a little hint. Here's a little hint on the spoiler review.
Shame. And again, we're back on Monday. We're gonna do our top 5 sci-fi series. Okay, that was great. Have a great have a great time. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back in a couple hours for our non-spoiler review of the Justice League. We'll see you then.
See you soon.